Welcome to Breakfast Central. It's a rainy morning. I'm sure that those on the mainland in Lagos cannot relate. But those on the island in Lagos, it's a terribly... I don't even know what word to use to describe the weather, but the rain was so bad that it's already getting to our knees. I don't know how we're going to cope in 2025. Nimet already warned us, but I guess the next few weeks or months would unveil what the weather has for us. But you're welcome to the show from wherever you're watching and from whatever the weather looks like at your end. I am Olive Emoli.
I'll let you. Wow. I'll do it.
I wanted to stand on existing protocols today.
Okay.
So I wanted you to go. So
okay, let me go. It's Breakfast Central. I mean, this is the one-stop shop for breakfast television. Will bring you everything you need to know: insightful discussions, great banter, humor. And of course, we also serve, like the Gen Zs will say, we serve looks. I mean, look at this handsome man and this beautiful lady giving everything it needs to give, isn't it?
From the UK.
It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, standing on existing protocols and you know,
bro, you're jogging on existing protocols, bouncing on existing protocols.
I'm happy and proud to be here on a day like this. I mean, it's very interesting to note that Breakfast Central is being watched in so many places, and we thank you for that. I was somewhere yesterday, and I did meet some of the in quotes, what we call the orgas, of course, those at the top of the company, and they were like, oh, really? I kept looking at you. You look so familiar. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Yes. I don't miss your shows. I watch your shows from the morning and so on. And you guys are doing a very, very good job.
That's great
The way you
feedback.
present the news is quite different from what we are used to. You guys take it from a different. I'm like, yeah, that's what we do. That's who we are. You know, and that's exactly what we're going to do today, because later on today at exactly, let me see if I can remember, 10 a.m., we will be having for the first time all the political party chairmen. They will be gathered at a hall. Inside that hall, we're going to have conversations that would talk about the 2027, road to 2027. We'll talk about the elections. Possibly, if they're going to tell us that as well, that will be what we'll do. But we'll broadcast that live here on News Central. It also shows that we're the first, and we always strive to be the first in doing things that have not been done yet.
Absolutely.
That's it.
So where do we start our wake-up conversations from? Let's start from Sokoto, where the Sultan of Sokoto has said social media is a terrorist organization.
Wow. Are you on social media?
Yes.
Are you on social media?
Yes, I am.
Does that mean you both are terrorists?
It means the Sultan of Sokoto is misinformed and he needs to get with the times, because I mean, it's like a bread knife. It was used to cut bread. It could be used to murder. It depends on the person behind it and what you apply to it. Everything has a good and a bad side. Yes.
That's a good one. That's a good angle to look at it. I also think when I watched that, I don't know if you have that video on queue, but once we have that video on queue, let's see if we can take it. Let's take that video so our viewers can get to understand what took place yesterday and while the Sultan was trending. Take a look.
You can't erase history. You can't. What happened has happened, and it's there written. You can't come and be through social media. But that's one terrorist organization, social media. Social media is a terrorist organization. What they do, when somebody sits in his comfort room and formulate stories, and you will swear that it's true. So, social media is a terrorist organization that we must deal with. Security agencies must deal with this terrorist organization called social media.
Well, my problem isn't just about what the Sultan said. It's the people that are clapping. You know, those things usually annoy me. When you see politicians who say something sometimes and it's a little
out of place,
ill-informed, and then you now see people clapping. Like, why? Why
I can tell you that 50%, 80% of people who are clapping, they didn't listen.
Yeah, they just felt, there's a pause and the silence, it's time to clap.
Yes, they were just thinking, and you know that thing you do when everybody claps? I mean, Benga, you can clap now, so, and then and then you just join. You have
just
no
like
idea.
that gentleman that was not in the, I mean, it's a distraction, but that was not in his head.
Yeah.
And FCT minister said, I know this guy is fake. You dress like Usman Dafodio.
Fake. So look at his head. You went to wear Usman Dafodio cap. You think I will not know you? You're fake. You are fake. You are fake. You're fake. Look at your head. You're nodding your head like this. You think I won't know you? You wear Usman Dafodio cap. You're fake.
Yeah, so, but the Sultan has a point.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was his delivery, though.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Because the ills of social media and disinformation, we live in a post-truth world. We've seen the damage that fake news can do. We remember radio, television, Milko and RTML in Rwanda, the role it played in the genocide. So we need to use social media more responsibly.
I agree. I think it's the way he put it. Possibly, he instead of saying social media is a terrorist organization, I think he would have said that terrorist organizations have amplified the use of social media in perpetrating, war, conflicts, killings, and so on. That's a bit understandable, which we agree, because we've seen that this is not the first time. Globally, we've seen terrorist organizations go as far as ensuring that they can get persons who are ill-informed or not informed about their actions to come over to their side. In other words, you could say employ, recruit, and so on, so they can carry out their evil acts. So yes, we agree with you, Sultan, if that's the angle you looked at it from.
Oh, yes.
But in the aspect of saying the social media in itself is like saying your house is
taking it
evil.
I'm going to take this much later when we look at what Nigerians are saying. But I wanted to share, look at the criteria for an organization to be determined a terrorist organization.
Okay. We'll take a look at that. Anyway, we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we have more wake-up conversations to look into. This time, what's happening with CBEX? I'm sure you've been following that story. Wake-up conversation continues in a moment. Stay with us.
Back to Breakfast Central. Before we went on the break, looking at wake-up conversations, we did play the clip where the Sultan of Sokoto declared social media to be a terrorist organization, and I was checking for what would make an organization be deemed a terrorist organization. The typical criteria is the use of threat or violence, political or ideological goals, meaning that their actions aim to intimidate a population across a government, structured organization, there's evidence of leadership, planning or operational capability, actual acts, that's involvement in past terrorist acts is usually required, not just intent. There are a number of other criteria, and then, organizations that can then move for this to be called. Yep. And like Benga and you had said earlier, I understand that there are ills that social media can propagate, but there's also good, really great good that social media can propagate. And for the ills, what we then should look at is creating institutions, formidable institutions, that when the ills are explored, there is a remedy. For example, somebody goes on social media and starts to spew lies about another person. There is no evidence to prove that. That's defamation. You can take them to court because they have defamed you. The defense to defamation is truth. So if they can prove that what they're saying is the truth, then there's no defense. So what we should explore is a way to ensure that the ills have a remedy. For every wrong, there's a remedy.
And social media organizations also have a way of regulating content. Because if you look at X, for example, there's something called community notes.
Absolutely. Same with
Facebook.
Facebook.
They will flag certain videos for being false, and same with Facebook too. So it's not as bad as people.
Even with Instagram, there's certain words you can't use. Is why when people want to write certain words, they use asterisk, because you can't use certain profanities. If not, they'll block your post or your page. So
and you can also be reported.
Yeah. So it's literally saying that it's a terrorist organization. I do not think is taking it too far, and it's literally a case of throwing away the baby and the bathwater. Every system has its strengths and its flaws, and in this case, I think that social media has done a lot of good. Let's not throw the baby and bathwater.
I mean, like we said, we could cut the Sultan some slack. Let's believe that is not what he wanted to say.
Exactly.
Let's just believe that he was going to say that social media is a tool that is being used by terrorist organizations.
Even the terrorists, how many times? Okay, well, they use social media.
They really do.
Anyway, away from that, another thing that came to light on social media, it's the unfortunate situation where Nigerians were fraudulently, I wanted to use a pidgin word, they obtained So Nigerians were fraudulently in broad daylight. They were taken advantage of, And this CBEX platform had promised 100% returns to a number of Nigerians. There are those who report being able to cash out the first few days, which is typical with every Ponzi scheme. You're able to get your money back in the first few days. But then by Tuesday, reports of people flooding the headquarters and videos emerged on social media because they could not access their money. Again, reminds us of the fact that when it is too good to be true, it most likely is too good to be true. The EFCC and the Interpol have said that they can guarantee that everybody will get their money back, even though that feels like aspire to perspire to Maguire if you require. I don't know how that is possible, but that would be great.
It's a big problem. Benga, I want to say something?
I was just going to say EFCC and Interpol. I mean, EFCC didn't have to put that statement out.
Well,
9 out of 10 times in the past that we've seen this sort of things happen, it never ends well.
No.
And they don't recover their funds. So people are already devastated. They're trying to come to terms with this. Don't give them, and when you give a drowning man a rope, he will cling at every straw he can. Don't give them, I mean, it breaks my heart to say this, but don't give them any sort of hope, any sort of false hope, because it's gone. I mean, and for those that have not had breakfast this morning, food for thought, that money is not coming back.
Bingo, that's a bit, you just broke some people's hearts. But then again, let's also look at it from this aspect. I was doing a little research yesterday, and I was able to reach out to a few persons who actually have their money in this. What people don't know is CBEX is actually an app, okay? It is being run by a platform called ST. And what ST does is they help you in trading. So if you put your money, they take 1% of your money. This is how it works. They trade with that 1%. When you make profits, it's being put back, but they don't touch the other percentage of your money. Now, ST, as they call themselves, ST team, they do have channels everywhere. I mean, there are footages online that I was able to get from some persons while trying to carry out this investigative journalism, and I saw some of the footage. You could see there, what you see there, certificate of registration, all right?
Wow.
There are statements that this ST team, can you see, they also have approvals from the state government and the likes. They have buildings, they also have, they were about to launch the Abuja building as well. Now, what hurts me or pains me the most is that the Security Exchange Commission had come out to say that they are not registered, okay? But we've seen events where Security Exchange Commission personnel were present. So how do we juxtapose, how do we balance this? Are we going to say that every company that comes into the country and promises you wealth and money, the government is turning a blind eye towards it, or the government is not saying anything? There you have it. That's the Telegram group. They have ST Customer Support, ST Team VP Service, ST Group, and this is where they were explaining to everyone that they hope they've heard everything that's happening in the social media. They shouldn't be afraid. Their monies will be given back to them, that the EFCC will not just talk without action, that they're very certain that everything will work out well. And you start to wonder, how long? Now, I also got a whirlwind of information that Olive, Benga, and to our viewers, as this is happening, they've created another channel, another group.
What?
What they are telling people is exclusive, put more money, and guess what? Nigerians are still putting money there.
Oh my God.
They are still going, they are saying, hey, don't worry about what is going on. This is a fresh group, this one we're going. And Nigerians are still going there to put money. So you ask yourself, it is a poverty mentality. It goes beyond just saying, oh, you always want to get what you have not worked hard for. And that's why, whether I would like it or not, I'm not against I mean, it's your choice if you want to get into betting and all that. But that is why, if you look at the research, countries that are struggling economically, that is where betting companies thrive. But let's leave that aside.
Yeah, because there's a level of desperation.
It's a remedy to, to quell your pain and your hardship. It gives you.
But at least you're guaranteed.
Exactly.
I mean, you will watch the game and you will know that Arsenal beat
Real Madrid.
But this one,
you don't know.
How can you say something is an AI accident? Can AI have accident?
So the ST team are the ones who handle the AI platform where they invest for you. And all of a sudden, they said some people were about to cash out, and then the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, comes out and says, oh, your certificate has not been approved, and so on, is no longer approved. And therefore, they now send a message, oh, we're having challenges with this. Therefore, people could no longer withdraw their money in 5 days. They were struggling. But it's somehow rumored that 5 days, the monies were, leaving the country and so on. So I think the FCC needs to not just touchlight this challenge on the ST team,
check the
and
Security
CBEX,
and Exchange Commission,
check
everybody.
our own organizations. The Security Exchange Commission, they have been fingered because they've been seen attending events too, according to some members who are there, who are crying foul. They've organized events across Nigeria in some parts. They were about to launch an office in Abuja. Are you telling me that they didn't get permits for all of these things? We did see certificates in the office. Why is it that
they had to wait for this to happen?
Exactly. So there's a lot we hope the FCC will look into, and if we need to call names, let's name names and let fingers be pointed. I mean, some of them are allegedly mentioned, but then again, let's do a thorough investigation, a thorough job, especially to help people understand that even if you will not get your money, like Minka says,
moral of the
it's gone.
story, if anybody is promising you 100% ROI, then it's most likely going to be a Ponzi scheme.
Again, it's just to remind our viewers, we're going to use this opportunity to sort of enlighten people that when it comes to basically investment, if it is too good to be true, it most likely is too good to be true. Nothing is as it seems. There are procedures and processes for investing, and when you're not sure, speak to an expert. Nothing like overnight success. Nothing like, oh, I'll put in 500K and get 1 million the next month. It doesn't work anywhere. All right. But our hearts goes out to the people who've lost money, and we hope that this will serve as a lesson to, or as a teachable moment, so that we're not going down this rabbit hole again, even though unfortunately we still might go down this rabbit.
I mean, Joe said some people are
already
inside the rabbit hole.
Inside the rabbit
digging themselves deeper
came out
and paying more money.
Don't mind them, you can still come, and people are rushing there.
That is human nature.
It's crazy. I think it goes beyond orientation.
I'm hoping that at least there's this, something that the people who've lost money, the few of them who are Arsenal fans can think about the win yesterday and find some consolation. Hala Madrid has become Haba Madrid.
Very great performance, by the way.
But shout out to the likes of Udoka and,
all our Arsenal fans.
Until PSG breaks their heart.
Yeah.
In Paris.
You never can. See, we did not know that they would do this. We didn't know they would do this good.
The president should be back by
we'll be back.
It's
We'll
2
be back
weeks.
before.
Well, he might extend
He might decide to extend it, so he can show support to our Arsenal boys.
to the Nigerians, they
has
Nwaneri and Saka.
Has the president spoken to Nigerians since then?
He's on the walk.
It's called walk.
No, he's been
walking.
releasing statements.
No, there have been statements, of course.
Yeah,
What is the
from
SSA?
Paris.
We've not seen him.
Well, it would be nice if the president watches the Arsenal PSG game, because Saka will be playing. Saka is Nigerian. Saka
to show
means Tinubu.
solidarity.
Saka Tinubu. Let's move on.
Oh my! Sorry.
It's okay, come back. Let's finish the story. That was good.
Let's read the headlines.
That was good.
Top
I'm not
stories.
talking about Basa.
No.
Top stories, please. Obasa's story. Let's move it.
No, I want Olive to talk about it for a reason. Because
Okay.
he who laughs last
Laughs best.
The return of
The return of
Obasa.
Obasa. So, a number of you remember the drama that happened with the Lagos State House of Assembly, and to see that Obasa was ousted whilst he was on holiday, came back, they had replaced him with Mojisola Beranda. He went to court. The court then said, your ousting or your removal was illegal. So the court has given judgment in favor of Obasa. Obasa has been vindicated, and all the people who were in favor of Obasa, I'm sure that this is a celebratory moment.
We need to understand what grounds the court gave this judgment, because it might serve as precedent. Does it mean if you have the correct numbers, you can't be removed as speaker? There are serious issues that needs to be unpacked from this judgment.
Well, speaking about what the issues, he said that the court said that the session was invalid, I believe. Yes, in the judgment delivered on Wednesday, Justice Yetunde Pinheiro nullified the House's proceedings and resolutions of January that led to Obasa's ouster. Ms. Counsel had maintained that the session was invalid, and the suit was based on 9 grounds. In fact, maybe we'll go into the details at some point during the show to share, but I'm sure that is a moment of celebration for him, even though technically he had been reinstated, but it seems that he was very keen on having the support of the courts. Politics is a very interesting game. Congratulations to Obasa, and we'll bring more updates regarding this story as we proceed, and to see how very excited the Lagos State House of Assembly is. I wonder the people that were crying when Mojisola
So
was...
what were they crying for?
Exactly.
I don't understand. No, like I wonder how they feel now, knowing that, man, this was a heartbreaking thing. No.
And have you noticed that there seems to be quiet all of a sudden?
There's total quietness, but we don't need them to be quiet.
okay.
There are issues in Lagos that need serious
many other
attention.
issues.
So they
Let's
should.
go, but I think we need to remind those in charge of Nigeria's running the state, which is Lagos State. We're talking about the National Assembly, the Lagos State
House of
Assembly. You know, Lagos is dark. My colleague here, Benga,
Very
done a
dark.
fantastic research and package on that. Lagos needs lighting. It's dark. Number two, Lagos is still smelling. It is still smelling. We need to handle it very quickly.
And then the state of major roads.
I'm
in
not with
Lagos,
you.
Quite a number of roads, especially
but serious.
at the inner streets.
Serious.
Yeah, but it's true.
It's true. And number three, have you seen the street urchins? How they've increased in number? I'm not even talking about the area boys. I'm talking about the
Anger
would I say
zones
the destitute, or what would I call them? Those who are roaming around. There are so many. In short, I was driving. I was going to share this on Wake Up. I was driving on Friday, and these boys who have now turned out to be like 100 in numbers.
A mob.
On the Lekki Express Road, they came to my car and they just spilled the dirty water.
For those squeegee boys.
And one hit my car and they were laughing and they were looking at me and they like indirectly like,
If you
do your
mistakenly
worst.
come out of that car, we are supposed to know.
It started.
Yeah, and I've
people have
always
complained
talked
about
about, especially by that
Ikate,
that
yes.
junction, the church.
Freedom Way,
Yes.
Ikete Junction. Okay.
There's a lot to be done.
In
We have a
Lagos.
lot.
And we know that
And then child protection services, there are children that are used for commercial purposes as beggars, as props.
if you bring it up,
So
then they will bring
people-
up the argument about Almajiri and
This
that
is,
being
I
their
mean,
custom.
a trailer could fail, God forbid. How do you put minors on the highway to beg? I mean, any responsible, we can't just, I never understand how we just drive by, how
There's fear
we've
of flooding,
normalized
Benga.
this.
Small rain this morning. Small rain.
it was getting to
Go
our
and
knees.
check
though.
the island.
It was getting to our knees. The water, the flood was terrible.
We had said it here on the program, if you recall, just 2 months ago, that the gutters are full.
Wasn't up to 2 months.
No, just last month or so. The gutters are filled up with dirt. Guess what? Just last week, in some parts of Lagos, they were removing the dirt from the gutters. Did they take them away? Guess
No,
what?
they leave it there.
No, they left it there.
I mean, these are the things the
these are-
State House of
these are things we
Assembly
can
should
look at.
bring up as point of order
All right.
and put the executive
And I'm glad
government
that you both have brought it up because I believe that
on their toes. Yeah.
we have brought these things to their notice. If there's any good part from here, remember the one thing that they said when they were talking about sort of trying to deal with the issues in the house was that they were trying to ensure that their house didn't end up like River State. And at the end of the day, if we're looking at it, it's not as chaotic as River State is right now. River State doesn't have a house at the moment. So that's part of their argument. So there's some
And by the way,
calm.
the River State Solar Administrator has been summoned by the reps.
The
Someone-
summoner.
Yes. The person who summoned someone. We didn't even talk about that. That's like one of the biggest stories. I mean,
No, well, we will
he
talk
came
about
out-
that.
Yeah, I mean, we will later. But he came out to say he's not the one who summoned though. So who signed
Who wrote that letter?
Who
Professor.
signed it?
Who ordered the professor?
You see, this is why Sultan says social media is a terrorist organization.
Ah,
Yeah, but they could
No,
still do it and deny it.
that's enough. People
Yeah.
were saying that maybe he's trying to fill the
Oh,
balls.
yes, and he
then
has
he
seen
saw
the
the reaction,
backlash.
and now
So he
the rep
denied
said,
it.
"Come, Oga, it's like you're having too much power."
But you guys,
in short, come forth.
you know, heaven is the goal. So on Judgment Day, we'll know who's telling the truth.
It's too foul.